Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Well, as you just saw, we hit 58. I'm not sure how much warmer. I just happened to go in the house and saw it's 58 degrees today, or right now, and I'm not sure how much warmer it's going to get. They didn't predict it was going to get this warm, so pretty happy. Like first day of spring, so kind of puts a little bit of fear behind us as far as the winter goes, because we made it through the coldest part with not too much issues, and now we're dealing with the melting part. So we got with the spring, we got the winds, and we've got the melting today, really heavy, and we've got rain coming too. So the biggest worry we've had all winter was where the water was going to drain, because we knew the property had some water issues when we purchased it, at least down in this area where we are right now. And so it's been a little bit of a concern trying to get everything fixed so that we are prepared for this moment when the water could start draining again. And so far, I gotta say, I think we've done a pretty good job. You can see the ground's pretty dry behind me, but over here we've still got quite a bit of snow and ice coming down the hill over here. This ice underneath the camper here, I'll take you over there in a minute, it's probably about 10 inches thick. It really piled up over there. And what's happening, and I didn't know this because it's our first winter here, so this is our first spring, so we're just now trying to see where the water's draining with the situation we have. Things are going to change here once we start getting moving forward with our project and our building. But for right now, the next obstacle we got to get through is the spring melt season. And so far, I got to say, we're doing pretty good. And as long as it doesn't rain too hard and the ground can take what it's the snow that's melting, I think we're going to be fine. Let me turn the camera around. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So as you see, all of this ice right here that's melting is pretty much flowing down in this direction over here. And all I had to do was just kind of lower this area a little bit. It was going that way naturally, just had to make a little bit of a path for it to flow. And it's really taken it really well. That area over there, I know can take the water, because when we had the rain about a week or so back, it piled up pretty good, but then it released and soaked in the ground. So that's what we're spring here now, so that's pretty much, I think, going to be the standard going forward. So until the ground here gets to the groundwater table gets high enough where it can't take it anymore, then we'll have a problem. But I don't believe we're going to get to that point. I think we're going to be okay. We made some modifications that the property hadn't seen before as far as the drainage goes. So now, instead of all of it going this way and piling up over here, we also have it flowing in this direction down towards the new ditch that we made a couple months ago when we rented the excavator. There's videos on that. Boss is really happy to be outside. She's been in the camper all winter, and she's an outdoor cat. And the last place we had, she was outdoor pretty much all winter long. She had places to go and hide and whatnot. So it's been a little rough for her. She's let it out on us more than once. So she's happy to be outside and having a good time. At any rate, so as I was saying, the ice is piling up over here, and I thought this was going to be a safe spot, and that's why the container ended up over here. I actually raised it up and leveled it off, and we ended up putting the camper over here. And unfortunately, she's familiar with the camper because we had it from the other place. You can see the snow, the ice really piled up here. Now this isn't all just melted snow. This is actual ice that came down from the hillside, water that came down from the hillside, and just kind of collects in this area. It's collected all winter long. And I started noticing it earlier in the springtime, in the fall, when it first started icing up. The steps to the camper, which I left down, hoping we'd have access to it, actually got covered in ice. And this is actually the second step up here The first one is under ice. We estimate it's probably, I don't know, maybe 10 inches of ice right here, and or more. Matter of fact, I'll take you over here. We were able to get in here and make some ditches and trenches, or whatever you want to call them, that makes everything flow down that way, and I'll show you what we did down in that direction. But it's all seems to be working pretty well, so now everything in this part of the property is kind of going down in that direction, and stuff over here is kind of going down in that direction, and a lot of it over here is just melting down into the ground naturally. So I'm not going to say we're out of the woods yet, but we're definitely looking pretty good, unless we get a really good downpour. But just to give you some idea of how thick this ice is, came up here with the Mahindra tractor 2638. I came up here, put the bucket down to make a path. This was all kind of slushy the day I did it. This was about a week or so ago. And as I was backing up, I felt the wheel fall into this hole. It wasn't this big at the time, but I knew something wasn't right. And I said to myself, yeah, I'm not coming back up this way. So just to give you some idea, the water's flowing under here. I don't know if you can see that, flowing pretty good. That's probably, I don't know, at least close to a foot from the top of the ice here. And it's melted quite a bit already. I'll put my foot in there just to show you. So give you some idea how deep this is, and all the water that's coming down here. All has to go somewhere. And so it's kind of going off in this direction, and now it's kind of heading off in this direction. She wants to get in the camper. Not yet, boss. But at any rate, like I said, right here, I'm guessing I'm probably standing on a good foot of ice. Of course, it's probably melted down underneath, but when we got the excavator a couple months ago, we trenched this all out. So underneath us, there's actually little trenches and ditches for the water to flow. And what I did is I piled up some dirt around the edges here to kind of protect us from the water going that way. And there's a pretty good sized hole right here where the water, this is the area where we initially tried to put our well, but it didn't work out. We hit too much rocks and we couldn't get deep enough. So we had buried it, but we didn't completely bury it. And there was a good sized hole left, so I kind of left it there. And it's kind of designed in a way that the water can come down through and kind of collects in that puddle, and then from there it just continues flowing. And again, it doesn't look like it is, but underneath us, it's actually, like I said, there's little ditches that trenches and whatnot that the water is flowing through. So you can see it's ground right here. It's probably pretty, it's still kind of frozen, but this is where it's kind of coming down. And this is where it used to collect, right in this area. This was not like this when we purchased it. There was one ditch that somebody had dug along this hillside, and it went down this way and down into the woods. But what I noted when we came to look at the property to buy it was that the water wasn't able to come down far enough down the hill here. Like it was just backing up. And so my thought was, well, I don't know if this is going to work, because I don't know if the area we're sending the water can take everything we can give it as far as the drainage goes in the spring. This was my thinking last fall. And so that, on top of the fact that this gravel pit, this former gravel pit, was scraped down of its gravel pretty much to the water table. So it's pretty, the water table is pretty close to the top of the ground here, or in places I should say, not everywhere. And I know that only because when we dug our well over here, we had to go down, that's actually 2 tiles right there, so that's 8 feet, and we still weren't even able to fill the bottom tile with water. It was just barely to the top. But once the rain started coming down and the water table started to go up, the water definitely got high in the well. And then throughout the winter, as we were pumping water out of the well into the RV, which we got to do again today, through doing that several times throughout the winter, I noticed that the water level in the ground was dropping because the ice I had to break through the top of the ice where it had come up, and then I'd break up that little bit of ice and the water would drop down, and it did that a few times. So I know the water it was low. Of course, now it's probably filling back up. But at any rate, so that was the biggest obstacle about trying to figure out how to get through the winter with this water situation was, will this ditch that we dug be enough to take all the water coming down, and instead of collecting right in here. So we've still got some time to go. We're in the middle of March, heading for the middle of March, and we've still got a little bit of winter to go. It's definitely getting warmer, and we're definitely going to be seeing more melting and rain, obviously, but as long as we have some cool nights and it gives things a chance to drain, I think we'll be okay. I'll show you right here how much water is coming down today. Hey, boss. My little buddy following me around here. You don't want to jump over there. That's wet water. From what I hear, cats don't like the water. Anyway, I'm standing in the little ditch that we dug here a couple months ago with the excavator, and you can see we were able to get down pretty far. The ground was thawed out in this area, so it never froze, and that's allowing the water to actually seep right into the ground right now. I'm not sure how much water is in here. You can tell I'm standing here with my boots. It's pretty deep, and so yeah, and almost to the top of my boots here. The problem is I wasn't able to get the excavator all the way in. I reached as far as I could, but you might be able to see, I'll take you down here. There's a rock down here, and I wasn't able to get all the way to the end. And my only concern is that I'm hoping the ground will be able to take this water fast enough that it doesn't start backing up in this area over here, which I think it drops enough. It may be hard to tell on camera, but it does drop continuously, and as long as the ground can take the water. Of course, the idea would be for it to continue on through to the end of this little ditch that we dug, and I'll take you up here to show you what I'm talking about. We're just through the woods climbing here. Oh. And it's pretty high up here. I dug down quite a few feet, probably for about 4 or 5 feet anyway, and it's pretty long, and I just couldn't get any further in here with the excavator. I got in as far as I could and reached down as far as I could. Let me take you through here. It's kind of through the trees to the end of this little ditch, and okay, here we are. So yeah, here's the issue I have. This is as far as I could get with the excavator, and we came in here with the shovel and dug out a little bit more, and you can see the water's stopped right here, and it's still got another 6 inches or so to get up over this little knoll here before it continues draining down into this wet area over here. So as long as, and I'm trying to take some of this out, continuously lower this area here so the water can eventually get through and just continue on before it gets up to the point where it's high in this ditch and it backs up over there. All right, so anyway, that's the quick tour of the situation here on the homestead as far as the water and the drainage goes. And right now it looks like we have it under control, so it's pretty good feeling, because if we can get through the next month or two with this area here not giving us any problems with water backup, that means we're really going to be in good shape to move forward with all the work that we have to do this spring. Moving forward with the big project, obviously. So at any rate, that's it for today on the homestead here, and I want to thank everybody for watching, subscribing, and sharing and liking. Leave a comment down below. posted. I've got another video coming out, if it hasn't already been released, about the cabin that we found on our property back here in the woods. Pretty excited about that. It's pretty nice find. We had a good day out there. So at any rate, you all have a good day, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.
I'll keep praying to heaven and fighting like hell.